Alright folks, let's talk about something truly thrilling. US visa applications. I know. Just hearing those words probably fills you with the same sense of existential dread as realizing you're sitting in front of a plate of lukewarm mayonnaise. But trust me, this is important because whether you're a globe-trotting gourmand, a business whiz chasing the American dream, or, let's be honest, just trying to escape the crushing monotony of your daily routine, navigating the US visa process can feel like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube while riding a unicycle on a tightrope, blindfolded. And while I can't promise to make the process enjoyable, I can at least try to help you avoid some of the most common and frankly avoidable pitfalls that could leave your American aspirations in the rejection bin. So buckle up, buttercups, because we're about to dive headfirst into the top 10 US visa application blunders. First up, let's talk about visa types, because choosing the right visa is like choosing the right pair of pants. Pick the wrong one, and you're going to be uncomfortable, unsupported, and probably a little embarrassed. There are a surprising number of visa categories, each with their own specific requirements and restrictions. Thinking you can just waltz in on a tourist visa and casually launch your new tech startup? Think again, my friend. That's the immigration equivalent of wearing board shorts to a black tie gala. You might get some confused looks, and security will definitely show you the door. So do your research, understand the purpose of your visit, and choose the visa category that fits you best. Once you've got your visa type sorted, it's time to gather your paperwork. And let me tell you, the US government loves paperwork. We're talking birth certificates, bank statements, letters from your grandmother vouching for your good character. You name it, they probably want to see it. Think of it like building a defense against a skeptical, bureaucratic dragon. Every document is a brick in your wall of credibility. Missing one? Well, that's a gaping hole for the dragon to fly through and torch your application. So be thorough, be organized, and when in doubt, over-prepare. This should go without saying, but apparently it needs to be said, tell the truth on your application. I know, radical concept, right? But in the world of visa applications, honesty isn't just the best policy, it's the only policy. The US government has ways of finding out if you're trying to pull a fast one, and believe me, they are not afraid to use them. Remember, this isn't your friend's birthday party where you shave a few years off your age. This is a high-stakes bureaucratic process, and even small inaccuracies can raise red flags, delay your application, or worse, get you permanently banned from entering the land of the free and the home of the very thorough background check. So, you've submitted your meticulously crafted application, complete with a dossier that would make Sherlock Holmes proud. You're practically home free, right? Not so fast, my friend. There's one more hurdle to clear: the interview. This is your chance to meet face-to-face, or at least screen-to-screen, with a consular officer and convince them that you are, in fact, a real person with legitimate reasons for wanting to visit the US. It's also a chance to completely blow it by missing your appointment. Look, I get it, life happens. Sometimes you wake up with a cold so severe you can barely see straight, let alone navigate the complexities of international travel regulations. But whatever the reason, make sure you reschedule your interview through the proper channels. Otherwise, the only thing you'll be seeing is a big, fat denied stamp on your application. Procrastinators of the world, this one's for you. We all have that one friend who waits until the absolute last minute to do everything: book flights, pack bags, apply for visas. But when it comes to something as important as a US visa, pulling a last-minute Larry is a recipe for disaster. Rushing through the application process increases the chances of making careless mistakes, overlooking crucial details, and generally making a mess of your chances. So, do yourself a favor and start the process early. Give yourself plenty of time to gather your documents, fill out the forms, and maybe even squeeze in a celebratory slice of apple pie once it's all done. You've earned it. The cover letter. That often overlooked, seemingly insignificant piece of paper that can make or break your application. Think of it like this. Your application is the main course. It's got all the essential information, but it's not exactly the most exciting thing to look at. The cover letter is your chance to add some flavor, some personality, some razzle-dazzle. It's your opportunity to connect with the consular officer on a human level, to tell your story, and to explain why you deserve a seat at the American table. So don't just phone it in. Take your time. Craft a compelling narrative, and show them why you're more than just another name on a long list of applicants. Look, we've all been there. That sinking feeling in your stomach when you open the envelope and see the dreaded word denied. It's not a fun experience, but it's also not the end of the world. However, trying to sweep a previous visa denial under the rug like a stray Cheeto at a Super Bowl party is not the way to go. The US government keeps records and they will know if you've been denied before. Instead of hiding from your past, address it head on. Explain what happened, what you've learned, and why this time is different. Honesty and transparency are key here, folks. Remember that interview we talked about earlier? The one that can make or break your American dreams? Well, it's time to prepare for it like your life depends on it. Because in the eyes of the consular officer, you are not just a charming, witty individual with a thirst for adventure. You are a potential security threat, an economic burden, and a liability until proven otherwise. Harsh, but true. So, practice answering common interview questions, dress to impress, no, your I Heart NY t-shirt doesn't count, and be prepared to explain your travel plans in detail. The more confident and prepared you appear, the better your chances of getting that coveted visa stamp. While I'd love to tell you that every visa application can be handled with a little bit of common sense and a well-placed bribe, donation, the truth is, sometimes you need professional help. If your case is particularly complex, maybe you've got a criminal record longer than a CVS receipt, or you're trying to navigate the labyrinthine world of investor visas, it's time to call in the big guns. Immigration lawyers are like the legal equivalent of a GPS system for navigating the bureaucratic jungle that is the US visa process. They know the ins and outs of the system, they can help you avoid costly mistakes, and they can increase your chances of success. So you've finally made it. You've conquered the visa application process, you've landed on American soil, and you're ready to embrace all that this glorious, chaotic nation has to offer. But before you break out the fireworks and start practicing your best bald eagle screech, let's talk about visa expiration dates. Just because your visa is valid for 5 years doesn't mean you can stay in the US for 5 years. The duration of your stay is determined by the Customs and Border Protection Officer at your point of entry, and overstaying your welcome can have serious consequences. So, enjoy your time in the US, but remember to keep an eye on the calendar and make sure you leave before your time is up. So there you have it, folks, the top 10 US visa application blunders and how to avoid them. Look, I know the process can seem daunting, bureaucratic, and about as much fun as a root canal without anesthesia, but trust me, it doesn't have to be a nightmare. By following these tips, preparing thoroughly, and maybe sacrificing a rubber chicken to the visa gods, don't quote me on that, you can increase your chances of success and finally live out your American dream. Or at least, visit for a bit without getting deported. Good luck out there.